Hi, I'm Lyra.
I'm Hannah.
And I'm Olivia.
Welcome back to our YouTube channel.
Today we're going to be talking about volcanoes. So what really are volcanoes?
Volcanoes are like the pressure valves of the earth. They periodically let heat and gases out and release some of the pressure. Volcanoes have created more than 80% of the earth's surface. As volcanoes explode, the lava, which is molten rock, spreads and cools, making the land larger and even creating islands. The hardening of rock even makes the volcano itself larger as the lava covers the mountain and hardens.
Where do volcanoes form?
Volcanoes form in many different parts of the world in many different geological settings. The largest or most explosive volcanoes form in subduction zones, places on Earth where Earth's massive tectonic plates divides beneath or subducts beneath another plate. Most volcanoes are on the ocean ridges where tectonic plates pull apart and lava wells up beneath the surface and fills in the gaps. Many large volcanoes are also associated with mid-plate hotspots, huge plumes of hot mantle rock that can extend hundreds of miles into the depth of Earth's mantle.
What are the different types of volcanoes?
There are multiple different types of volcanoes, including cinder cone volcanoes, stratovolcanoes, and shield volcanoes. Cinder cone volcanoes are the most common and are cone-shaped like you would imagine. They are relatively small, usually only 300 feet tall, not rising higher than 1,200 feet. Stratovolcanoes are made from layers of lava flow, ash, and unmelted stone. They are larger than the cinder cones and rise up only to around 8,000 feet. When they explode with great violence and may even blow up the sides as well as the top of the volcano. An example of a stratovolcano is Mount St. Helens. Shield volcanoes are huge compared to the other types. They are not very explosive, more of just lava flowing over the sides. The largest volcano is the Mauna Loa in Hawaii. It is a shield volcano as well.
How do volcanoes erupt?
The composition of magma causes what kind of eruption it will occur. When thin and runny lava flows out of the volcano, more gases escape. When lava is sticky, there is a violent explosion because gases can't escape as easily. Therefore, the way that the volcanoes explode isn't always just random, but depends on the way that the volcano actually has more gases in them and how the lava composition is like.
So what are the effects of volcanoes?
The greatest hazard associated with volcanic eruptions are lahars and precipitatic flows, superheated mixtures of water, gas, and dust, and rock that cascade down mountainsides and river valleys and around obstacles, burying and incinerating virtually anything in their path. Volcanoes can send aerosols and particulate matter high into the atmosphere and around the globe, cooling the planet by as much as 0.3 degrees Celsius, about 33 degrees Fahrenheit, for an entire year. Eruptions can threaten planes flying around the globe and even cause tsunamis. Eruptions can inject millions of tons of particulate matter or tiny pieces of ash and glass into the air, along with gases like water vapor, carbon dioxide, and sulfur dioxide.
How have volcanoes affected history?
Volcanoes have helped shape the world over time. One major event that a volcanic eruption caused was the preeminent mass extinction, which happened around 250 million years ago. The preeminent mass extinction was a huge disaster that wiped out 90% of marine life and 75% of land animals. Another famous event caused by volcanic eruption was the destruction of Pompeii. Mount Vesuvius erupted in Pompeii, destroying the city and covering it completely.
Any benefits of volcanoes?
The physical breakdown of volcanic rocks, known as weathering, has produced some of the Earth's most fertile soil. Some of the earliest human civilizations settled on the rich, fertile volcanic soils around the Mediterranean and Aegean seas. Some of the best rice-growing regions of Japan and Indonesia are in the shadow of active volcanoes. And in Hawaii, the weathering heavy action of heavy rains can produce fertile soil from new lava flows, resulting in the regrowth of vegetation as soon as a few decades after an eruption. Hawaii's rich volcanic soil helps support an agricultural industry worth more than $5 million per year.
Are there volcanoes on other planets?
The biggest volcano in our solar system actually is on Mars. Olympus Mons, it stands 26 kilometers, which is 15.5 miles, and 500 kilometers wide. That's 310 miles wide at its base. This may be the biggest volcano in our solar system. There are still many other big volcanoes in the solar system that include Icarus Mons, Pavonis Mons, and Ares Mons, all of which are on Mars. Even though Mars might have some of the biggest volcanoes on it, there are still many other planets that have volcanic activity, such as Jupiter Io, one of Jupiter's moons. It is the most volcanic active planet in our solar system with hundreds of volcanoes. The planet with the most volcanoes is Venus. Although Venus has the most volcanoes, Jupiter Io is the most active in the solar system, meaning that there's the most volcanoes that are actually going off now.
Why are volcanoes important?
Volcanoes can cause a lot of damage, and we should definitely be looking out for them in the future. Mount St. Helens in Washington State erupted in 1980, ripping more than 1,300 feet off of the top of the mountain and causing an estimated of $1.1 billion in economic damages.
What active volcanoes are on the Earth now?
Currently, there are 1,350 volcanoes on Earth now, but only 500 of those volcanoes erupted in the historical timeline. The majority of these are in the Ring of Fire, which is mainly of the Cascade region of Alaska and Hawaii, which is near the middle of the ring. Since there are so many volcanoes in Alaska, there's 161 volcanoes in the US.
What really is the difference between lava and magma?
Deep in the earth, rocks melt, becoming magma. When magma erupts, it's called lava. Magma rises due to the fact that it is lighter than the solid rock around it, making magma chambers. Once erupted, the magma can break off into rock pieces called tephra. Tephra can either be in tiny particles or as big as a house.
We hope you learned something about volcanoes.
Come again next time!
Tectonic plates did that.
A little taller than me. At least my head gets. Oh, are we the same height? No, this is where Lyra's head was.
No, it's not. Why is it so low?
You touched the And I'm Olivia.
Welcome.
Yeah. You have to say 1, 2, 3.
Stop. I just want to take the video. It's a volcano.
You have to start over.